Hi everyone. Measuring judging success. A very good case study we are going to do. LOSADA PAELLA. So this case study, you can see there is a like she started is a restaurant in chain in Spain, and she is like a sole trader, and she's a small business, and she managed to actually came up with a secret recipe from a grandma, and then from 2002 she set up the business. But 2008 onward, that business gone sharply. You can see the business actually going to new next level from 2002 to 2016. This is a huge success. Then asking three questions: what was the size of the LOSADA PAELLA as per EU definition? It was a small business because as per European definition, about 2 million. Right? If you earn like a less than, like I say, 2 to 10 million, they are a small business. So this is 2.4 million, comes under small business category. What year did she actually PAELLA change? Actually change, you can see 2018 is a massive change year. You think LOSADA PAELLA has been successful? So like that, when you answer this kind of question, you can use this kind of format. According to European definition, 2016 LOSADA PAELLA was a small company. This is because turnover was less than 10 million and greater than 2 million. As I told you, 2 to 10 million is called small company. The 2008 is the year of change, and then 2000, you can see third. Do you think the LOSADA PAELLA has been successfully? So yes, in the first 2 years of trading, LOSADA PAELLA enjoyed the improvement in revenue from 98,000 euro in 2002 from 200,000 in 2018. And however, in 2008, Martha set up a website for the business and started to sell her products online. This was an enormous success because 2016 turnover had risen 2.4 million, and this represents the increase of 1,100%. So that's the thing. So basically, business organizations like this, you can mention in the success or failure by looking at their especially sales figures and everything, right? Okay, here we go. We are going to discuss the owner satisfaction. The owner satisfaction or shareholder satisfaction is also really important. Shareholder satisfaction can be measured by two things: the market price and the dividends. This is BMW. You can see the BMW dividends from 2011 to 2015. You can see there's a huge growth in BMW revenue. So the dividend part. So dividend is the normally the profit share given to the shareholders at the end of the financial year. It can be consist of the interim dividends and the final dividend. So anyway, the dividend there we can see some growth. 2.3 pounds, 2.5, and now 3.2 pounds. So it's a shareholder satisfaction we can expect because there's a high consistent growth of dividend we can see. And also the share price also, you can see BMW share prices first from 2012, from which like around 50 to now trading around 2016. After 4 years, it's trading around 80s. So that's the share prices. Once it went up in 2015 to around 120 also, right? That's the share price movements up and down. So this is also another thing. So as a shareholder, as an owner, you can get two gains: dividend gains and the capital gains. Dividend gains means the company directly at the end of the year from their profit, they are declaring some dividends. Whereas capital gains mean the share market, you can, the share price movements on that you can sell at high prices. That's called the capital movements. So basically, the last one is employee satisfaction. The employee satisfaction normally we can find out from the how much employees are satisfied. Sometimes there are surveys for employees, best place to work in the world, like that. So employee satisfaction we can normally judge from the like how much they are getting from the business, trading opportunities, motivation levels, or sometimes you can see the bonus and the increments, pay rises, everything. So needs the employees business are likely to be different from those of shareholders and owners. Employees depend on the business for their livelihood, and also most employees have no other sources of income and rely on the wages, like the owner, employee, and they want the business to be successful. If the business is growing and profitable, the employees are likely to get higher wages, more benefits, and perhaps a bonus, and they will also feel more secure in their job. However, employees have other needs as well, so which must be met. As I told you, that basically motivation is important. Not because a lot of employees, the main source of income is the job, but some people they are doing some other jobs also, like secondary part-time jobs to earn their income or increase the income. But most of the employees, like the main income of their sometimes only income source is the job. Therefore, they want good working conditions, Not only salary, sometimes opportunities to interact with employees, fair honest treatment, opportunity for promotion, these things. So they will want to maximize their financial rewards and welfare. If the employer is able to satisfy all or most of these needs, in their opinion, the business will be considered as successful. Right. So we talk about this topic, the importance of targets in judging a success. So normally targets are important, objectives are important. Many owners set objectives or targets when running their business. This make it easier to measure the success. For example, a business might plan to grow its market share by 5%. Imagine if they are end of the trade, at the end of trading year, market share has grown by 6.5%, the business would be considered successful. Targets might also be used to motivate staff. If targets are met for the or exceeded, staff may receive bonus. Sometimes they are giving as a loyalty bonus, sometimes not because of the targets met, just because of the loyalty. Sometimes during the Christmas season, they are giving the Christmas, the festival bonuses like that. So different companies have different ways of giving this thing. So anyway, the targets are important because if you achieve the target mean, therefore it's like a win-win concept. Company also wins and the employees also wins. Like that, during the period of strong market growth, business might set more challenging targets. So anyway, when the large business or small business, large business in particularly a public limited company, sometimes they have more demand from the shareholders coming. Especially performance is likely to be measured by the size of the dividends of the shareholder receive and how much share prices increases. Therefore, the performance of large companies is usually measured by the profits and the growth. Right? Smaller firms, especially like a sole traders and all, partnerships slightly different. They have slightly different objectives such as personal satisfaction. Therefore, their success can be measured by looking at what these objectives have been met. You can see it depends on the business organization, the size of the organization. So objectives and organization. That's why anyway, measures of judging success are important. Right, let's go to MCQ questions. Question number 1. Which of the following is most likely to be used by shareholders to measure the success of a business? A, revenue. B, dividend growth. C, the quality of customer service. D, social impact. What is the answer? Right. So you can see the shareholders' point of view. Yes, I got 2 answers correct. Yes, correct answer is B. Yes, 3 answers correct. Correct. Okay, very good. Right, shareholders normally thinking about the dividend growth. So B is the correct answer. Very good. Okay, let's go to the next question. Question number 2. Which of the following might be used by a business to help measure customer satisfaction? A, online survey. B, labor turnover. C, sales forecast. D, cash flow forecast statement. Right, so you can see here to measure the success, measure the customer satisfaction. A lot of business they are using. I got 5 answers. All answers are correct. Very good. 5 correct answers. Very good. Excellent. So answer is A is the correct answer. Online survey. Question number 3. Employees might measure the success of a business by looking at A, dividend growth. B, turnover. C, job security. D, net profit margin. Employees' point of view, they are thinking the success of the business organization by looking. Yes, I got 2 answers correct. Answer is C, job security. Job security is the correct answer because employees, they are thinking their job security basically because they don't need, because they are not getting dividends, right? They don't they don't care about the turnover, net profit margin. The most important thing for them is their job security. Okay, 4th one, what must be taken into account when using profit to measure the success of a business? What must be taken into account when using profit to measure the success of a business? A, labor productivity. B, the location of the business. C, product mix. D, the size of the business. Yes, I got this time 2 correct answers. Correct answer is D is the correct answer, size of the business, because when you're using a profit to measure the success, organization's success, the growth is really important, the size of the organization, whether it is a small one or a large one, right? Now we are moving into the chapter review case study of this chapter number 14, measures of judging success. Case study. QETIC LATEX PLC, right? So, so I invite Pinidhi, can you read this question, please?
QETIC Latex PLC manufactures a range of rubber products such as concentrated latex. It also markets latex examination gloves to medical professionals, high-pressure water hoses, injection plastic and rubber molded parts, and escalator handrails. In 2016, the company won 2 high-profile industry awards for the quality of its latex products. This was the result of its commitment to product development and investment in a US 50 million research center in 2015. However, in the middle of 2016, QETIC faced some internal problems. In order to improve productivity, one of the molding sections was to be converted to automation. This meant that 180 staff would be laid off, 6% of the total workforce. The announcement of the job cuts were received very badly by the employees. 2 workers protested by chaining themselves to the main gates to prevent the movement of suppliers' vehicles. A week later, the situation became more severe when a representative of the workers said that they would bring the company to its knees if the workers were not given roles in another part of the organization or paid reasonable compensation for their loss of employment. Some ugly scenes at the main plant were broadcast on television, and it was reported that shareholders were very worried about the continuing conflict. This concern was reflected in the share price, which fell 12% on the day after broadcast.
Okay, thank you, Minister. You can see now the business organization is mainly they are making rubber products. You can see latex manufacturing. They are using rubber products like gloves and other medical professional item like water hoses and everything. The company description is very clear. And also this company, you can see the industry awards and certificates. You can see they received during the 2016. They have a high profile in the industry, and product development and investment of 50 million research center to the, it was like a first paragraph about all the positive information. But look at this, the negative information in the second paragraph talk about the however. In the middle of 2016, they have some internal problems, like especially the staff in the into molding sections was converted to automation. As a result of this, what happened? Automation is a method of improving the productivity of the organization, but we can expect some kind of a job redundancies. We can see some because of the automation means capital intensive. As a result, machine replace the labor. Then about 180 staff would be laid off. But it's about 16% of the total workforce. You can see now they are not happy because the union actions can be expected, because if you say 180 people to just you can't fire them like that. But that's the reality. Business organization think about their profit margin. Therefore, sometimes they want to downsize the business organization. So sometimes they give the freedom to their employees. So then it will be not it's a very bad sign in the employee satisfaction point of view, because this lack of job security you can see. So as a result of this was badly affected the employees, and they protested by chaining themselves to the main gates. My God, it was and also they prevent the movement of supply vehicles. Also, they want to stop production because they hate that machine. Because of that machine only, they lost that 180 jobs, right? Think about the employees' point of view. This is very reasonable attempt to get their jobs back, but it is not viable because already the business has taken a decision to go for the automation process because it's more productive and fast and more output can produce. So this is the thing. They haven't actually, they are having some nice, like a redundancy. It's like a smooth, right? Changeover should be there. But organizations like they don't actually nicely manage the situation. So after that, there are so many repercussions you can expect. The share prices went down by 12%. So because the bad information broadcasted by the other television channels and all, this organization now in a deep trouble. So that's the main reason. So there are situations happen like that. So this is a good case study to review, this latex PLC. And also the next page, you can see the latex shareholding percentage. Basically, the 66% of the shareholding percentage came from the financial institutions, and then 9% owned by the senior management team and 25% owned by others. So basically, this is the latex shareholding, the pie chart. And then the other given the dividends per share during 2011 to 15. So that is more impressive. Why every year the dividend per share US dollar they have increased 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.5, 1.7. There's a constant dividend growth is we can expect, we can see the evidence is there. So in that point of view, shareholder owners wise, they will be happy. But the problem here, on the other hand, the question says that share price has gone down by 12%. Share price has gone down by 12%. That is a bad sign in that case. So they're asking a couple of questions here. Work out the total number of people employed by QETIC LATEX. And we can find out that because 16% staff represent 180, then how much is 100%? QETIC, is QETIC small, medium, or large? We have to think about that thing by looking at their annual turnover and the sales, everything. Discuss how consumer satisfaction might be used to measure the success of this business. Consumer satisfaction, I think no problem, because they are producing especially rubber gloves, rubber hose, everything like medical equipment. That is more customer satisfaction we can expect. Describe two shareholders might measure how the success of the business. Shareholders, they measure by looking at the dividends and the market share, the value, the capital gain, and the dividend gain, right? Assess the success of latest company, make a clear judgment in your evaluation, right? This is a very good case study to handle. Let's see what is the marking scheme says. Yes, question number 1, the chapter review. Work out the total number of people in the organization. As I told you, 180%, 180 equals 16% means you can calculate it by dividing 180 divided by 0.16 or 16%, which is 1,125 workers. Right. The second question asking is QETIC is a small, medium, or large business according to EU definition. Firms that employ more than 249 is considered large. Therefore, in this case, we found out that they have 1,125 workers. Therefore, this is a large business according to the European Union measure. Right. Okay. Question number 3. Discuss how the consumer satisfaction might be used to measure the success of the business like QETIC LATEX. Okay, Pindi, can you read that para? Question number 3.
Many businesses will look at how consumers' needs and wants have been satisfied when measuring success. If its customer service is good, a successful business will find that it has loyal customers and a growing customer base. In this case, QETIC LATEX sells goods to other businesses. However, it will still be important to meet their needs. Many businesses are becoming more customer focused and making effort to get feedback from their customers. QETIC LATEX may have developed a relationship with their business customers over time. If these relationships are strong and customers are loyal, then QETIC may consider that it is being successful. Also, in 2016, the company won 2 high-profile industry awards for the quality of its latex products. This suggests that customer satisfaction might be high. Finally, an increasing number of businesses use customer surveys to gather information about customer satisfaction. The information they gather can be analyzed and used to assess customer satisfaction levels. If the customer satisfaction levels rise over a period of time, then the company will consider it is being successful.
Very good. So basically, the evidence is there because they have been a high-profile company. They have won some awards also, like 2 high-profile awards in the quality of the latex products. So quality-wise, the quality products mean the customer satisfaction. Like if you get some kind of an organization, a quality, a certificate, a standard certificate is very good because customers, that's basically a good certificate, a guarantee that you are producing a very good product. So customer satisfaction is number 1. So therefore, as you can see, the consumer satisfaction is more. We can measure by looking at especially the reports, awards, and certificates actually they receive regarding their quality. So as a result, finally, increasing customer satisfaction always is important because assess the customer satisfaction level. It always rises over a period of time. Company will consider being successful, right? Okay. The other part is the 4th question. Describe how shareholders might measure the success of a business. Shareholders in this case, like basically they have 1 positive and 1 negative because shareholders, you can see the dividend wise, they have paid the constant dividend. You can see that the figure, dividend payment is considerably like increasing, improving progress. We can see every year they have improving their dividend payment 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, like that. But however, due to latest trends, the company share prices fell by 12%. That also there, right? Okay, question number 4. I invite Aravind. Can you read the question number 4 answer?
Most shareholders in public limited companies will have bought shares with the aim of making money. Consequently, they will focus on dividend payments and share prices. Over time, shareholders would want both dividend payments and share prices to rise. In many countries, large financial institutions such as insurance providers, pension funds, and investment companies own shares. These groups tend to be very focused on short-term returns. They like to see regular dividend growth, and if dividend payments were frozen or cut, they might see this as a sign of failure or weakness. In their view, successful companies are those that increase dividends each year. In this case, QTech is 66% owned by institutional shareholders. Consequently, there is likely to be pressure on QTech to deliver regular dividend growth.
Okay, thank you. So basically, look at the application here. They mention about the 66% owned by the institutional shareholders. If you go to this case study again, you can see this the figure 14.8, this shareholder percentage. You can see 66% represented by institutional financial institutions, institutional shareholders, for example, banks, pension funds, right? Like EPF, ETF, like employee provident fund, some other pension fund, government banks, like that. So this called institutional shareholders, 66% owned by them. So as a result of that, that's why they're expecting a constant dividend growth of their 1.1, 1.7. But they haven't mentioned about the answer, the current share price is going to current situation, because share prices goes up and down based on the situation. But that's why the organization basically they think about the long-term view. Shareholders, sometimes short-term, sometimes long-term, basically focus on dividend payments and the share prices. So two things you have to mainly highlight. Shareholders are thinking about the basically dividend payments and the share prices, right? So basically they wanted to see both of these things rising, right? But they haven't mentioned about the recent situation in the company, and as a result they reducing their share price by 12%, right? Last question was the assess question. That it was like a 12-mark question, 12-mark structure, definition, 2 positive points, 2 negative points, and the conclusion, right? So this question they're asking, assess the success of QETIC PLC. There are so many point of views out there. We can assess from the consumer point of view, from the employees point of view, and from the shareholders or owners point of view. Different things are there. We'll see how this answer they have organized. So I invite again Piniti, can you read this answer?
Most QETIC shareholders would argue that the business has been successful. They would point to figure 14.8 that shows that dividends per share have risen from US dollars 1.10 in 2011 and US dollars 1.70 in 2015. This is an increase of 54.5% over the time period. Most investors would consider this a fair return on their investment. Dividends have grown steadily over the whole time period. There have not been any dividend holidays, a year where a company pays no dividends, or dividend reductions. However, shareholders also look at share prices, since they can make a profit if they buy shares and sell them later when the price has risen. In this case, the share price fell sharply in 2016. It fell by 12% in one day immediately after the television broadcast showing some disturbances at the QETIC factory. This would be a cause of concern if the fall was not reversed soon after. Employees in the business may differ in their view about QETIC's success. The needs of employees may be different from those of the shareholders. Employees depend on businesses for their livelihood. Most employees have no other source of income and rely on their wages. Like the owners, employees want the business to be successful. If the business is growing and profitable, employees are likely to get higher wages, more benefits, and perhaps a bonus. They will also feel more secure in their jobs. However, employees have other needs that must be met. They will need to be trained so that they can do their jobs properly. They want good working conditions, opportunities to interact with other employees, fair and honest treatment, and opportunity for promotion. Generally, employees will want to maximize their financial rewards and welfare. If the business they work for is able to satisfy all or most of their needs, then in this opinion, the business will be judged as successful. In this case, in order to improve productivity, one of the molding sections at QETIC was due for automation. This meant that 180 staff would be laid off. The announcement of the job cuts were received very badly by the QETIC employees. 2 workers protested by chaining themselves to the main gates, preventing the movement of suppliers' vehicles. A week later, the situation escalated when a representative of the workers said that.
Yeah. So you can see the first para and second para. First para is mainly talking about the shareholders' point of view, and the second para is talking about the basically employees' point of view, right? So you can see the later on the conclusion also there. Okay. Okay, carry on.
Said that they would bring the company to its knees if the workers weren't deployed in another part of the organization or paid reasonable compensation for their loss of employment. This would suggest that employees are far from happy and would judge that the company is not being successful. To conclude, up until the recent internal conflicts, the business appeared to be successful. Certainly, shareholders were enjoying rising and regular dividends. QETIC also won 2 high-profile industry awards for the quality of its latex products. This was the result of commitment to product development and investment in a $50 million research center in 2015, an investment that presumably created new jobs. However, at the moment, the future success of the business is in question. Some ugly scenes at the main plant were broadcast on television, and it was reported that shareholders were very worried about the ongoing conflict. This concern was reflected in the share price, which fell 12% the day after broadcast. If the internal conflict is not resolved quickly, the performance and success of the business is likely to be at risk.
Very good. So thank you. Basically, this question, you can see they mainly every paragraph focusing on one stakeholder about their perspective, and they talk about how they measure the success of the business. For example, firstly, they talk about the point of view of the shareholders point of view. The shareholders point of view, they are saying that this company have a stable dividend growth. They are giving consistently, increasing dividend growth. They are happy about it. But the problem here is because of the recent ugly scenes, their share prices went down by 12% after broadcasting this disturbances of the factory. Because always share price is always a reflection of the economy. Like always, if you hear good information, share price is going up, right? And if you hear the bad information, share price will going down. The share market is that much sensitive. And the second paragraph, we talk about the employees' perspective as a result of the new automation plan. They are losing some of the 180 jobs as a result of that. This is the main cause of the conflicts between the managers and the employees. They actually have different perspective of the business as a result. Now they are thinking about, especially employees' perspective, their job security, sometimes higher wages, a bonus, everything. But they are losing their jobs. That's the final thing. That's the worst thing that can happen for an employee, losing your job. So as a result, they try best to avoid that situation. But as a result, only this every bad scenes happened recently because of this redundancy plan. So and also in the conclusion para, you can see they summarize everything in the shortly. They summarize in the shareholder perspective and the employee perspective. That's why in any case study, if you're receiving this kind of question, assess the success of the business organization. Think about the different perspective of the different stakeholders. Employee perspective, shareholders perspective, right, and other customer satisfaction. Because this case study, we have some evidence regarding customer because they have won some quality awards and they have invested like 50 million research plant is there. So they have given in the conclusion also this research plant of 50 million investment would create some new job opportunities. But right now the current situation is ongoing situation is a really conflict situation. Therefore, the business would be very careful with this kind of a decision, because every decision has kind of a impact on some kind of a shareholder. So they have to manage and you have to balance this decision. You must move smoothly. Transitional period must be there. I think without saying you're going to fire you, right? 180 employees. You can transitional period must be there, because called contingency plan, something like backup plan must be have with the organization. I think if you have that kind of a plan for this QETIC company, I think they could be able to manage this conflict easily and nicely, and this kind of like a negative impacts can be avoided in the future. So you can see that's the end of this measuring the success in this the lesson. So in this case studies and everything, we talk about the entire lessons about different perspective of the measuring success. So I summarize the lesson again. So we talk about, first of all, the measuring success is depending on, first of all, the revenue of the organization, the sales revenue organization. The revenue growth is one aspect of the intel reason of measuring success. Now that I told you, the market share is another perspective of measuring success. Market share represents the number of customers, the amount of the capacity market that you are established on, and customer satisfaction is the third measure of success. Customer satisfaction we can measure by using especially consumer surveys and everything. So therefore, customer satisfaction also really important perspective of measuring success. And fourth one, we talk about the profitability. Profitability is another important aspect of kind of a yardstick of measuring success. Fourth one, profitability. And fifth one is a business growth or size of the organization. So that size of the organization actually measured by turnover, employees, market share, capital employed, and European these levels. We divided the size of the business into 4 categories: micro level, small business, medium size, and large business. So that's the fifth one. And the sixth one, we talk about the this case study also, and then owner satisfaction or shareholder satisfaction. They will satisfy especially by looking at the dividend, size of dividends, and the share price movements, right? And finally, we talk about the employee satisfaction. The employee satisfaction is basically driven the financial and non-financial benefits they receive from the organization. Financial benefits including the salaries, incentives, bonuses, everything, and also non-financial incentives mean non-financial motivation like training opportunities, working conditions, job sharing, job enrichment, empowerment, delegation, like this kind of a non-financial things. Employee will satisfy with that. So like that. So the importance of measuring success mean you have to have some step like an objective. You have to organization. The making objective is really important. Then only it's easier to measure our success. For example, if you have an objective to increase your profit by 5% at the end of the year, and if you actually achieve that target, that you can see, yes, we are successful, we actually achieved our targets like that. So after we talk about this final case study chapter review about the latex PLC, and we talk about in this case study nice information right regarding how the 3 different stakeholders affecting employees, shareholders, and customer satisfaction. So from that, the chapter is over. So next chapter will be the reasons of business failure, right? With that, we are going to from next week on, we are going to actually do that session in reasons for business failure.